Hello everyone, my name is Khan Singh and I am a second year student at IIT. And in today's video, the topic of discussion is going to be whether this is the right time to start a startup or not. So let's look at the startup ecosystem at this point of time in India and majorly in Southeast Asia. How is it shaping out to be? So one thing, all the news that is coming around startup ecosystem is kind of positive at this point. If you talk about Peak XV has started. Peak XV, which was formerly Sequoia Capital, now in Southeast Asia, it's Peak XV when they have separated from Sequoia Capital. They have started investing heavily into startups in Southeast Asia, and a general trend of venture firms is if one venture firm starts investing, the other venture firms start following it. So we can estimate a huge amount of capital being deployed in the startup ecosystem in the coming up years. Okay. Then what comes after this is if we see the startups around us, we can see like a lot of startups have started raising funds again and again. A lot of startups have started raising money from angel investors as well. So, talking about the scenario from the venture side, it's positive. But on the startup side as well, it's positive because startups are able to raise funds now. A lot of startups have started raising their Series C, Series B, and this shows that investors have again started to gain trust in the startup ecosystem of India. But some sectors will continue to suffer in the upcoming time because if we talk about the edtech sector is not receiving funding at the current stage. Like overall, if you see the startup ecosystem, it is receiving funding. A lot of money is being pumped into startup ecosystem. Again, we can predict a lot of money being pumped in the startup ecosystem in the upcoming months. And if we look about uh, if we see the startup ecosystem after 6 months in India, we can see that funding will again taking funding will again become very easy, just like it was easy in 2021 and 2020. And the same trend, the same cycle is going to repeat again, especially in India. But on the other hand, if we see some sectors like edtech or fintech, these sectors are receiving less amount of funds currently because of the past they have had actually. Because if you see in 2020 and 2021, the major sectors that were receiving funding were edtech and fintech, and most of these companies could not become profitable, could not give returns. Many of them defaulted, and that's the reason why investors are not able to gain trust on these two sectors in particular. The sectors that are going to raise more money in India and Southeast Asia specifically are SaaS, software as a service, AI tools, deep tech based startups, and logistics based startups that try to bring profitability by providing logistic services. Because if you see e-commerce is a type of logistic game itself, and it has not been profitable for a very long time. So if a startup tries to bring profitability in the logistics sector, then it could be a major boom in the start, major company raising a lot of funds and also being profitable at the same time. And if we just see the startup wave has again started, the startup wave is again at its peak, is again going to come at its peak in the upcoming months. So, according to me, this is the right time to start a startup because if you keep your startup alive for the next 6 to 8 months, you're going to build something tangible for the next 2, 3 years at least. Because again, the startup ecosystem is growing, is has gained investors have gained trust on the ecosystem again, and money is being deployed again into the ecosystem. There's one more stat that I want to share with all of you. The stat is basically how venture firms work. Venture firms collect a fund from various investors and then deploy that fund into the market. So if we look at the situation in 2022, these venture funds had dried out all the funds that they had collected from the investors was actually completely deployed into the market. But now, if you look at the situation in 2023, there are a lot of venture funds that have collected the money from investors. They have the money now and they need to start deploying. And when will they deploy? When other big venture firms deploy money. And PX Suite is leading it. The biggest venture firm of Southeast Asia is leading it. So we can expect a lot of money flowing into the ecosystem again. So that's the major positive sign for the whole startup ecosystem. And that is the main reason why I believe that today is the right time to actually start building something you have dreamt of, start building something you have always imagined, and start following your passion. It could be a side hobby, it could be a side hustle, you could be a college student who's doing it with his college studies, or you could be a person who's doing a job and doing it a startup. At the end, I would also like to share that I am also working on building something currently, and it's in the gaming sector. I'll be putting in more videos telling about it in the future. So if you just want to follow along my journey, you can subscribe to my channel. And if you found this video a bit insightful, then you could like the video and